I did a PhD in public policy and management at the Wharton School. In a parallel manner, I've grown up wanting to make a difference to India. So the inspiration to be in politics comes from I heard stories about my late uncle and my late father's involvement in the freedom movement. So I studied, science in my pre-university and things like that. Just about founding something. It's about creating livelihoods for crores of people, actually.
That would indicate that this person wasn't smart to get into science. So, Professor, let's start with this fundamental question. Most of us who have done well academically in our country, we shy away from getting into the quagmire. I understand that both your father and your uncle spent their life in social services, so that gave you some road to walk on. But what is it that gives you the strength to say that, look, I'm going to get into the quagmire and I'm going to try to do the best I can while I'm in it?
Thanks, Vikas. But the first point is to not think of it as a quagmire, to think of it as, as an idealistic opportunity to make a difference to people around you, to society, to India. And of course, it is actually a quagmire, but the basic point is that should not deter one. My father and uncle are also people who've been in public service throughout their lives. So the inspiration to be in politics comes from having grown up in an environment where I heard stories about my late uncle and my late father's involvement in the freedom movement. They were involved in the freedom struggle in the last years of this freedom struggle. My uncle, M.V. Krishnappa, was a hero of the Quit India movement when during his student days in Maharaja's College, Mysore. And my father was, courted imprisonment at that time. My father also was jailed at the age of 15 in 1947. And so I actually grew up listening to stories of what they went through and why they did what they did, etc. And then, post-independence, my uncle was elected to the Lok Sabha 6 times. He was a junior minister in Nehru's ministry. He founded the dairy cooperative movement in Karnataka, Bangalore Dairy. You see a statue of his. So what Korean is to Gujarat, my uncle is to Karnataka. And in the process, it's not just about founding something, it's about creating livelihoods for crores of people, actually, eventually. And, my father was Speaker of the Assembly, and I've seen him also, leading a very dedicated life aimed at improving, the quality of life for people around him, his constituency, etc. So, growing up, just like if someone grew up in a business family and said what they also want to grow up and grow the business or something like that, in a parallel manner, I've grown up wanting to make a difference to India. And so right from a young age, I have been focused on this career agenda. And I actually would not recommend this to other people because it ultimately becomes like a long-term obsession. So I studied, science in my pre-university and things like that. Many of my classmates, close friends, went to IITs and beyond. But I, at an early age, decided that I want to study economics and politics and public policy, and with the intention of entering politics and following what my father and uncle did in my own way by contributing expertise to government. Okay, so actually, before the the postdoctoral fellowship at Berkeley, I did a PhD in public policy and management at the Wharton School, and I have a master's in economics from Fordham. But interestingly enough, I got a bachelor's in history, economics, and political science from St. Joseph's College, Bangalore, at a time when doing anything like a BA was, looked down upon, and everyone would do only engineering or medicine. I had my merit seats, but I chose to go down this path, and I'm a happy man as a result of that. Anyway, so this whole desire to go and focus on a political career and the willingness to give up a tenured position all has to do with the fact that it was all part of a longer term plan. And I'm grateful to God and everyone else that I actually managed to achieve some of this, by becoming an MP, at the age of 50. And now I'm in the Rajya Sabha. And now I'm hoping to break into the Lok Sabha at the young age of 60.
No, 60 is a young age. I think we don't know this, but do you know what's the average age of our Lok Sabha?
Lok Sabha would not be that old. It would probably be 45, 50. A lot of younger people also compared to, yeah.
I think, Professor, you've got like a very young leader in the Congress party. Is that not right? Who's a youth leader of the Congress party?
He's actually in his 50s too. He's, I think, 52.
55. 55, I heard.
55, is he? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I can check. We understand that I grew up in India, and I know that there was a stigma against choosing a Bachelor of Political Science, like choosing a BA. Like that would indicate that this person wasn't smart to get into science. But then obviously you having went to Wharton and to Berkeley, nobody can doubt your IQ. So from a very young age, like right after class 12, when you have to choose between science and bachelor's in political science and economics, you made your intention very clear that, look, I want to spend my life in social services when you chose political science and economics. So that's very impressive. And I think having your father go to jail at the age of 15, that leaves indelible marks on a son's mind. I think so. So thank you for being so open about your driving force.